Hi, my name is Jim White. I'm the Executive Vice President of Oryxe International. I'll spend just a few minutes today talking about Fort Vale couplers. Come on in the office. I would imagine about this time some of you are saying, Jim, sorry, but you can't tell me a thing about a coupler that I don't already know. For the most part, I'm going to agree with you, with the exception of what we're going to talk about today. The engineers at Fort Vale have made some significant design changes that have made this a much better coupler than the one that you're currently using. Small changes, big results. Let me tell you about that and how it works over here. Years ago, I was a professional drag racer. I drove cars called funny cars. Don't really know why they're called funny cars. They have aluminum replicas of 426 Chrysler Hemi engines. They have 1471 superchargers. They run on nitromethane fuel. They make around 10,000 horsepower. Sometimes it's perfect, and then it's other times it happens like this. This is in the late 70s, me in Atlanta. I broke a push rod, a very simple part. Broke a push rod, exploded the motor, blew the body up over these stands out into the parking lot, and today this is the only piece of that body that's left. I keep it as a reminder that things can get really bad really quick. In the late 80s, I was driving a car sponsored by Hawaiian Punch. On Thursday at the World Finals, we broke an exhaust rocker arm. Again, a very simple little part that needed to be redesigned and re-engineered, which is what we did. In 1991, we fixed all of those little parts, and this car represents the fact that we won the shootout at Indianapolis Raceway Park on Sunday of Labor Day weekend. We then came back on Monday and we won the U.S. Nationals with that same car on the same weekend. This is a real simple little picture here that shows all the races that we qualified number one in 1991. And down here you'll see that there are 6 NHRA national records. We set those records with this particular car in 1991, both elapsed time and mile per hour, becoming the first funny car to run over 290 miles an hour in a standing quarter of a mile. I've shown you all of this to show and try to explain to you that sometimes making very small changes can make very large differences, and that's what they've done at Fort Vale. When you get the Fort Vale coupler, the first thing you're going to notice in the box is a test certificate. It's going to guarantee to you that the thing has been put together properly, that it's been tested with all the pressures that you're going to have at your terminal when you get it in operation. The next thing you'll notice right away is the studs for the attachment on the back of the coupler. The competition doesn't have studs, they give you bolts. To hook up bolts is very complicated. Sometimes you're in a tight little spot and you've got to try to get bolts to fit. With studs, you simply get one of them on, you rotate it around, and it slides right into place. By the way, if you should have a sight gauge at your terminal, be sure and let us know. We have longer studs that will take care of the sight gauge. It makes it real simple for the installation. The next thing I want to point out is this rubber O-ring. When I first saw it, I thought it was kind of silly. Who cares? But after I have visited a few terminals and I've seen how the drivers abuse the couplers, throwing them against the pavement, throwing them against their truck, this rubber O-ring makes a significant difference and will protect the coupler for long use. The next thing I want to talk about is the stainless steel shaft. For the inner workings, it will guarantee you excellent service out of this coupler. Then I want to spin it around and show you the inner workings and compare it to what's on the market today. The engineering department and the design group have recalibrated this radius. That makes it much easier to go on and off the vehicle. They've also enlarged the locking fingers, and you'll notice the locking fingers are over twice the size of what's on the market today. That will guarantee that you have minimum leaks, if any, and I know that leaks are a big problem at the terminal level. At some point, you're going to need to do work on this coupler just like the ones that you currently have, which means you have to replace some seals and some gaskets. Now, the difficulty with what you have now is that you have to take it off the loading arm, take it into a work area, take it completely apart to do the service, put it all back together, take it back out, and reinstall it. That's the way it works. Fort Vale has made sure that you now have a choice. You can either do the same thing, or you can open the valve, and very simply, you can do all the repair work that you need to do while this coupler is still on the loading arm. The repair kit's going to look just like this. It's going to come in this plastic bag, and all the parts that you need are going to be included. You simply take a small screwdriver, you pry this seal off. Out of the kit, you take the new one, you put it right back into that groove, and that part of it is done. Then you take an O-ring tool, you slide these two O-rings off, and you'll notice that they are significantly different in dimension, so you're not going to have a problem putting the right one in the right place. Once you get those three pieces done, this thing is ready to go back to work. Now, on that rare occasion that you have a leak at the handle, you can simply remember, first you have to remember that these are made in England, so the tools are metric. So you're going to need to go get a number 19 and a number 35 wrench. With a 19, you can then remove the handle. The 35, there's a brass nut on the back side of it. You spin it out. Again, with your O-ring tool, you slide the O-rings off, and you'll see that in the repair kit, there are 3 small O-rings that will go right back on this brass nut. You replace those, you put it right back together, and this product is ready to go back into service. We have a lot of confidence in this Fort Vale coupler and all the products that they have. We actually have a catalog that's available to you that will show you a complete loading arm. It'll show you all the swivels that you need at your terminal. Another great tool that Fort Vale makes is a wear gauge. It allows you to go check a truck to make sure that their connector is round, that it hasn't worn too much that could cause leaks at your terminal, which I know are a real pain for you. Our offer is pretty simple. We believe strongly in the product. We believe that you're going to like it. Our statement is try it, you'll like it. So all we want you to do is contact us either at our website, which is www.oryxe, spelled O-R-Y-X-E.com, or call the number at the lower part of the screen. One of our staff will be glad to help you get the information that we need. We're going to send you a coupler free of charge to use for 30 days. We'll even pay the freight to get it to you. All we ask is that you put it on the most active arm that you have. Keep an eye on it. Let your drivers use it. Let the maintenance people keep an eye on it. And at the end of 30 days, we'll give you a call. If you like it like we believe you will, we'll send you an invoice. You can pay for it with a company check or with a company credit card. If for any reason you don't like it, we're going to ask you to put it back in the box and send it home to us. That's how easy this really is. Thank you for the time you've given me today. We appreciate the opportunity to show you some of the simple improvements that we've made on the product to make it a much better product for you at your terminal.